I'm Willa Myers. I'm 33 years old. 19 months ago, I packed everything I owned into a rented U-Haul trailer and drove 2,100 miles from Columbus, Ohio to Portland, Oregon. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my sister. I didn't tell a single person in my family. I just left. I kept my phone number. Same one I'd had for 12 years. If anyone wanted to reach me, they could. For 19 months, not one of them called. Not on my birthday, not on Thanksgiving, not on Christmas. Not once. Until my sister showed up at my empty apartment because she needed a babysitter for the weekend. That's when my mother left 47 voicemails in 48 hours. Not one of them asked if I was safe. Every single one told me what a selfish daughter I am. I didn't call back. I mailed one package. And when they opened it, my family didn't come after me. They came after each other. Before I tell you how this started, please take a moment to like and subscribe. And drop a comment. Where are you watching from right now, and what time is it? I'd love to know. Now let me take you back to a Tuesday evening in my mother's kitchen. The night I realized I'd been invisible my entire life. I'm 14 years old. My father has been dead for 3 weeks. The house smells like casserole dishes no one asked for, and carpet cleaner that doesn't cover the sadness. My mother sits on the living room couch in the same bathrobe she wore yesterday. And the day before. My sister Kara is 10. She stands in the kitchen doorway, bottom lip quivering, stomach growling. I'm hungry, she says. I wait for Mom to move. She doesn't. She stares at the TV. It's not even turned on. Mom, Kara says again. I'm hungry. Nothing. I open the pantry. Macaroni and cheese, the boxed kind. I've never cooked anything by myself before. I read the back of the box, boil the water, stir the noodles. The cheese packet tears wrong and powder gets on my shirt. I make 2 bowls, one for Kara, one for Mom. Kara eats at the table. Mom takes hers without looking up. Finally, someone's being useful, she says. That's it. No thank you. No, are you okay? No acknowledgement that I just buried my father 3 weeks ago, and I'm standing in the kitchen at 14 years old, trying to keep this house from falling apart. I wash the pot, I wash the bowls, I wipe the counter. The sponge is old and smells like mildew. I make a mental note. Buy a new sponge. I am 14. I am adding buy a new sponge to a list in my head because no one else is going to do it. That night, standing at that sink with dishwater dripping off my hands, I become the person who holds this family together. I didn't volunteer. No one asked. It just happened. And once it starts, you don't know how to stop. Fast forward 17 years. I'm 31. I live 12 minutes from my mother's house in a 1-bedroom apartment that I pay for entirely on my own. I work as a project manager at a small construction firm in Columbus. I'm good at my job. I'm organized, reliable, detail-oriented. I have to be. Because at home, I run a second job that nobody pays me for. I open my Google Calendar on a Sunday night. It's color-coded. Blue is Mom, her doctor's appointments twice a month because she says she can't keep track. Green is Kara's kids, pick up Lily from school Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yellow is Saturday babysitting. All 3 kids, Lily, Mason, and Oliver, so Kara and her husband Drew can have their date night. Red is holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, every single birthday. I plan them. I cook for them. I clean up after them. I scroll through 3 months of entries. Every single one has someone else's name attached. Not one belongs to me. I had plans to meet my college friend Denise for lunch 4 times this year, canceled all 4. Twice because Kara texted at the last minute. Hey, can you grab the kids TMRW? Drew's traveling. Once because Mom had a bad day and needed me to come sit with her. Once because Oliver threw up at daycare and Kara couldn't leave work. I scroll back farther. 6 months. Same pattern. 12 months. Same. My phone buzzes. Text from Kara. Can you do Saturday and Sunday this weekend? Drew's in Detroit? I type, sure. I hit send. She doesn't reply. No thank you. No how are you. Just the assumption that I'll say yes, because I always say yes. I close the calendar. I stare at the screen. And for the first time, A thought crosses my mind that I can't unthink. When was the last time someone put my name on their calendar? March 12th, my 31st birthday. I wake up and check my phone. Nothing. I shower, get dressed, check again. Nothing. I drive to work, sit at my desk, check at lunch. Nothing. Not a text, not a voicemail, not even one of those generic Facebook posts. But then again, I deactivated Facebook 2 months ago, and nobody noticed that either. After work, I stop at the bakery on East Main. I buy a single red velvet cupcake. I sit in my car in the parking lot and eat it alone. The frosting is good. The moment is not. At 7:15 my phone rings. Mom. My chest lifts for half a second. Maybe she remembered. Maybe today is the day she surprises me. Willa, I need you to run to CVS. My prescription's ready and they close at 8. I grip the steering wheel. It's my birthday today, Mom. A pause, short. Not uncomfortable for her. Just empty. Oh, happy birthday. Did you pick up the prescription? I drive to CVS. I pick up her blood pressure medication. I drop it at her door. She takes the bag, says, "Thanks, honey," and closes the door. Doesn't invite me in. Doesn't offer cake. Doesn't mention my birthday again. I sit in her driveway for 3 minutes, engine running, headlights pointing at the garage door. I don't cry. I've never been a crier. But something inside me, some cable that's been holding weight for 17 years, I hear it snap. When I get home, I open my laptop at 11 p.m. I type into the search bar, Apartments, Portland, Oregon. I don't know why Portland, I've never been, but it's 2,100 miles from this driveway, and right now that sounds exactly right. I don't book a flight to Portland that night. I'm not impulsive. I'm a project manager. I plan. But first, I run an experiment. Starting the next morning, I change one thing. Instead of waiting for people to need me, I reach out first. Not with tasks, not with logistics, just as a person. March 13th. I text Mom. Want to grab lunch Saturday? Just us. No reply. March 19th. I text Kara. Hey, how are you? We haven't just talked in a while. Kara writes back. Can't. Kids are crazy. Then nothing. March 26th. I text Drew. How's the new project going? He sees it. Blue check mark. No response. I keep going. April, May, June, July, August. I send messages to each of them, week after week. Want to catch a movie? How's Mason's ear infection? Mom, I tried a new recipe. Want to come over? Kara, I miss you. Let's do something just us. I screenshot each one. Not because I'm building a case. I don't have a plan yet. I just need to know I'm not imagining this. I need proof for myself that I'm reaching and my hand keeps closing around air. By the end of August, I count them. 214 messages sent. 11 replies. All short, all logistical, none asking how I am. 203 messages ignored. I sit on my bed with my laptop open to a job listing in Portland. Project coordinator at a mid-size firm. Same pay, full benefits. Start date, October 1st. I look at the screenshots. 214 attempts. Then I look at the listing. The application takes 20 minutes. I submit it before I can talk myself out of it. September. The offer comes through. I accept. I give 2 weeks' notice at work. My boss, Greg, shakes my hand and says, "Portland's lucky to have you." That sentence does something to me. 5 words of genuine acknowledgement from a man I've worked with for 3 years. More than my family's given me in 17. I pack my apartment in stages. Evenings after work. Boxes stacked in the living room. Furniture sold on Craigslist to strangers who show up with cash and pickup trucks. I set up mail forwarding through USPS. Deactivate my Facebook account, the one nobody interacted with anyway. One thing I don't do, I don't change my phone number. Same number I've had for 12 years. If anyone in my family wants to reach me, they can. The line works. I'm not hiding. I'm just not chasing anymore. The last night in Columbus, I drive past Mom's house. Lights on in the living room. I can see the TV glow through the curtains. I could stop. Knock on the door. Say goodbye. I keep driving. September 28th. I hook the U-Haul trailer to my car and pull onto I-70 West. Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska, Wyoming, Idaho. 3 days of highway and truck stop coffee and rest area naps. I listen to podcasts. I listen to silence. Somewhere in Wyoming, I roll the windows down and scream into the wind for no reason at all. It feels good. It feels like something leaving my body. October 1st. Portland. It's raining. I park outside my new apartment, a second-floor unit in a quiet neighborhood with a Japanese maple in the yard. I sit in the car and breathe. Really breathe. No phone buzzing, no calendar alerts, no one needing anything from me. I didn't slam the door. I just stopped holding it open. Month 1. I check my phone every morning. Nothing from Ohio. I tell myself it's early. Maybe they're busy. Maybe Kara's got a cold going through the kids. Maybe Mom's in one of her moods where she doesn't talk to anyone. Month 2. Thanksgiving comes. I sit alone in my new apartment with a rotisserie chicken and a can of cranberry sauce. My phone stays silent. No one texts to ask where I am. No one notices the chair is empty. I realize they probably didn't have a Thanksgiving dinner at all. I was the one who organized it every year. Without me, there's no table to sit around. And nobody thinks to ask why. Month 3. My birthday. March 12th again. 32 now. I buy myself a cupcake. Red velvet, same bakery chain, different state. This time I eat it on my couch instead of in a parking lot. That feels like progress. My phone? Silent. Month 4. I meet Naomi Park at work. She's 34, senior designer, grew up in Sacramento. On my 3rd week, she stops by my desk and asks, "How was your weekend?" I open my mouth to answer, and I almost cry. Not because the question is emotional, because no one has asked me that in years and actually waited for the answer. Month 5. Naomi and I start going hiking on Saturdays. She introduces me to her friend group. We do potlucks. Someone asks me what music I like, and I realize I don't know. I've never had time to figure it out. Month 6. I check my old email one last time. One unread message from Kara, sent 3 weeks ago. Subject line, July 4th weekend. Body. Can you watch kids July 4th? Drew's doing a thing. No greeting. No how are you? She doesn't even know I'm gone. My therapist in Portland, yes, I started therapy, first time ever, gives me a journaling exercise. She says, write down what your life would look like in 5 years if you'd stayed. I sit at my kitchen table that night and write. If I'd stayed, I'd still be driving Mom to her appointments twice a month while she complained about the route I took. I'd still be picking up Lily and Mason from school while Kara texted me the wrong dismissal time. I'd still be babysitting every Saturday so someone else could have a life. I'd be 36, then 40, then 45, with a calendar full of other people's names and a career that never moved because I couldn't stop calling in favors to leave early. I would have lost my 30s. I was already losing them. Then she asks me to write what my life looks like now. I've been promoted. 6 months in, my manager Helen calls me into her office. I think I'm in trouble. She says, "We're creating a senior project manager role. I want you for it." I stare at her. She says, "You're the most organized person I've ever worked with." I don't tell her I had 17 years of practice managing a family who never said thank you. On weekends now, I hike with Naomi. I signed up for a pottery class on Wednesday nights. I cook dinner for myself. Real meals, not the frozen pizza I used to eat in the car between Mom's house and Kara's. My calendar has my name on it. Every entry. Mine. My phone buzzes. I glance down out of habit. Portland area code. Naomi. Farmers market Saturday? I smile. I text back. Someone invites me somewhere, and for once it's not a task. Then one evening in April, month 19, my phone lights up. Ohio area code, a number I haven't seen in over a year and a half. Kara. I stare at it until it stops ringing. Here's what happened on the other end. Kara needs a babysitter. Drew is in Cleveland for a 4-day engineering conference. She wants a spa weekend with her girlfriends. 2 nights, Friday through Sunday. She calls the only number she's ever dialed for free childcare. Mine. It rings, and rings, and rings. She texts me. "Hey, Need you this view candy? Call me. The message delivers, but I don't respond. I'm at a pottery class in Portland, hands covered in wet clay, phone on silent in my bag. Kara tries again Saturday morning. Voicemail. She doesn't leave one, she hates voicemail. Instead, she drives to my apartment. The one in Columbus. The one I haven't lived in for 19 months. She parks, walks up the stairs, knocks. No answer. Knocks harder. The neighbor across the hall opens her door. A woman named Ruth, who's lived there 8 years. You looking for the girl in 4B? Ruth says. My sister, Willa. Oh, honey, she moved out a long time ago. Over a year at least. Kara stares. What? Packed a trailer one morning and left. Didn't say where. Kara's first reaction, and I want you to pay attention to this, is not concern. She doesn't ask Ruth, did she seem okay? She doesn't say, oh my God, is she safe? She pulls out her phone, calls Mom and says, did you know Willa moved? And my mother says, what are you talking about? 19 months, nobody called, nobody visited, nobody drove 12 minutes to check. Not until someone needed something from me. And even then, standing in front of my empty apartment, the first question wasn't about me. It was about what I could do for them. The second domino is about to fall. My mother does not handle surprise well. She handles it the way she handles everything, by making it about herself. Within an hour of Kara's call, Judith Myers picks up her phone and dials my number. The same number I've had for 12 years. The number that has been sitting in her contacts this entire time. It rings. I see Mom on the screen. I'm on my couch in Portland reading a book. I watch it ring. I don't pick up. She calls again, and again, and then the voicemails start. Number 1. Willa, where are you? Call me back immediately. Number 7. How dare you leave without telling your mother? Number 15. You are the most selfish person I have ever raised. Number 23. Your father would be ashamed of you. Number 34. I'm telling everyone what kind of daughter you really are. Number 41. After everything I sacrificed for you. Number 47. If you don't call me back, you are dead to this family. 47 voicemails between Friday night and Sunday evening. I listen to every single one. I take notes. Not for anyone else, just for me. I write down what she says, message by message, and I notice something. Not one voicemail asks, are you safe? Not one says, are you okay? Not one single message out of 47 contains the words, I'm worried about you. Every message is about her. What I did to her. What I owe her. How I've embarrassed her. How dare I? I set the phone down. I look at my notes. 47 messages. 0 concern. In my closet, on the top shelf, sits a folder I brought with me from Ohio. 214 printed screenshots. I haven't touched it since I moved, but now I pull it down and set it on the table. While I'm sitting quietly in Portland with a folder on my table, Kara is doing what Kara does best, controlling the story. She posts on Facebook that Sunday night. She doesn't tag me. She can't find my profile since I deactivated it months before I even left. But she writes, going through something really hard right now. When family abandons you and your children without a word, you realize who really loves you. Hug your siblings tight. 83 reactions. Hearts, crying faces, prayer hands, comments pour in. So sorry, babe. Who would do that to a mother of 3? You're the strongest mama I know. Nobody asks for my side. Nobody wonders if maybe, just maybe, there's more to the story. Kara calls our Aunt Maggie in Pennsylvania. Maggie is Mom's older sister, 61, the one who cut contact with Judith years ago for reasons Judith has never acknowledged. Aunt Maggie, Willa just vanished, Kara says. She abandoned Mom and my kids. Maggie is quiet for a moment. Then, did you ever call her first? What? In the last year and a half. Did you call Willa even once? Not to ask for help, just to talk. The line goes quiet. Then Kara hangs up. That evening, Maggie dials my number. She's the only person in my family who ever bothered to keep in touch, even if it was just a text every few months. I gave her my address in Portland last Christmas. She sent me a card. It's still on my fridge. They found out, Maggie says. I figured. They're not worried about you, Willa. They're angry at you. I know. What are you going to do? I look at the folder on the table. I haven't decided yet. But I think I have. Drew Bellamy, my brother-in-law, is the quietest person in this family. He's 31, a mechanical engineer, travels 3 weeks out of every month. He's not cruel, he's just absent. And when he is home, he follows Kara's lead on everything. If she says jump, he reaches for his shoes. But that Sunday night, after the voicemails and the Facebook post and the chaos, Drew does something unusual. He sits alone at the kitchen table after Kara goes to bed. He opens his phone. He scrolls back through his messages. Way back. He finds 3 texts from me, sent months apart, each one simple and friendly. How's the new project going? Hope Detroit went well. Happy Father's Day, Drew. He saw all 3, blue check marks. He never replied to any of them. Drew stares at those messages for a long time. Something settles in his chest. Not guilt exactly, but its neighbor. The quiet recognition that he saw a hand reaching out and did nothing. The next morning, Kara is on the phone with a friend, retelling the story of how her ungrateful sister abandoned the family. She hangs up, turns to Drew and says, "Can you believe she did this?" Drew is quiet. Drew? I don't know, Kara. Did we ever check on her? Kara's face hardens. That's not the point. I think it might be. She walks out of the room. Drew doesn't follow. He sits there with his coffee and those 3 blue check marks and a feeling he can't name. 2,000 miles away, I open my laptop and order a cardboard box from Amazon. Medium-sized, 12 by 10 by 6 inches. Just big enough to hold a thick folder and a single sheet of paper. So right now, my old family in Ohio is rewriting the story of why I left. My mother's voicemails are piling up. My sister's Facebook post is collecting sympathy. And not one of them has asked a single question about whether I'm okay. If you've ever been the person everyone counts on, but nobody checks on, you already know what happens next. Stay with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this story's about to turn. The folder sits on my kitchen table in Portland. I open it for the first time since the move. 214 messages, printed on plain white paper. I organized them the way I organize everything at work, by recipient, then by date. 3 sections, tabbed with colored dividers. Tab 1, Messages to Mom. 87 entries, highlighted in 3 colors. Yellow for check-ins. How are you feeling today? Pink for invitations. Want to grab lunch Saturday? Blue for important messages. Mom, I made your pot roast recipe. Wish you were here to try it. Next to each one, a small notation in my handwriting. No reply. Seen, no reply. Read receipt, no response. Tab 2, Messages to Kara. 94 entries, same color system. How's Mason's ear infection? Want to take the kids apple picking? I miss you. Let's do something just us. 94 attempts, 88 ignored. Tab 3, Messages to Drew. 33 entries, brief and friendly, all seen, all unanswered. At the bottom of each section, a simple summary. Total sent, total replied, response rate. Mom, 4%, Kara, 6%, Drew, 0%. I don't add commentary. I don't write an essay about how they hurt me. I don't attach a guilt trip or a demand. I place one single sheet on top of everything. White paper, black ink, 1 sentence. I tried 214 times. Here they are. I slide the folder into the box, close the flaps. I write my mother's address on the front. No return name, just a Portland, Oregon return address. I tape it shut. Then I set it on the shelf by the door. I'm not sending it yet. There's a reason I'm waiting. And that reason has a birthday coming up. Maggie calls me on a Tuesday. She sounds tired. Your mother is planning Oliver's birthday party, she says. March 15th. Okay. I'm folding laundry on my bed. Clean towels, my towels. It still feels strange to only wash my own things. She's invited everyone. Drew's parents, Kara's friends, the neighbors, the pastor and his wife from church. She's turning it into a production. Mom always liked an audience. That's what I'm calling about. She told Kara she expects you to come to your senses and show up. And if you don't, she's planning to give a little speech, in front of everyone. About how you abandoned the family. I stop folding. A speech. She wants the crowd there when she announces it. She's been rehearsing it to me on the phone. Words like ungrateful and selfish and what I sacrificed. The whole performance. She's setting a stage. That's exactly what she's doing. She wants to be the victim in a room full of witnesses. I sit down on the edge of the bed. I look across the apartment toward the front door. The box sits on the shelf, taped shut, addressed, waiting. When's the party? I ask. March 15th, Saturday afternoon. I do the math. USPS priority mail from Portland to Columbus, 2 to 3 business days. If I mail it on the 12th, a Wednesday, it arrives Thursday or Friday, maybe Saturday morning. Are you going to come? Maggie asks. No. Good. I wasn't going to tell you to. Maggie? Yeah? Thank you for being the one person who calls just to call. She's quiet for a second. That's what family's supposed to do, sweetheart. We hang up. I walk to the shelf. I pick up the box. I hold it in my hands. It weighs almost nothing. Funny how the truth can be so light. Wednesday, March 12th, my 33rd birthday. Nobody calls. I'm not even disappointed anymore. That part's over. I drive to the post office on Hawthorne Boulevard. The line is short, 2 people ahead of me. I hold the box under my arm. It's lighter than you'd think, just paper. The clerk is a woman in her 50s with reading glasses on a chain. She weighs the box, types the zip code. Priority mail, should arrive Friday, maybe Saturday. Saturday works. Anything fragile in here? I look at the box. No. Nothing fragile, just the truth. The truth is the sturdiest thing I've ever held. She prints the label. I pay. She places it on the conveyor belt behind her, and just like that, it's gone. Moving through a system, zip code to zip code, Portland to Columbus, from the person who tried to the people who didn't notice. I walk back to my car. The rain has stopped. That almost never happens in March in Portland. I take it as a sign of nothing. I'm not superstitious. But I take my time walking. I breathe the wet air. I feel my shoulders drop. My phone buzzes. Naomi. Happy birthday! Dinner tonight? I'm cooking. I smile. Someone remembered. Someone who's known me 18 months remembered what my family forgot for 2 years running. I'd love that, I type back. That night, Naomi makes Thai basil chicken, and we eat on her patio with the space heater going. She doesn't ask about the box. I don't volunteer. We talk about work, about a trail she wants to hike next month, about nothing and everything. At home later, I check the tracking number. In transit, estimated delivery, March 14th to 15th. I close the app. I brush my teeth. I sleep through the night without waking once. Saturday, March 15th. Columbus, Ohio. My mother's house. I'm not there. But I know this house like I know my own hands. The front porch with the creaky second step. The living room that smells like Yankee Candle and old carpet. The kitchen where I stood at 14 years old making boxed macaroni while my mother sat in the dark. Today, that kitchen is decorated for Oliver's 3rd birthday. Dinosaur tablecloth, green balloons, a store-bought cake with Happy Birthday Oliver in blue frosting, because no one knew how to order from the bakery I always used. The house is full. Gerald and Linda Bellamy, Drew's parents, sit in the living room making small talk with Mrs. Patterson from next door. 3 of Kara's friends from her mommy group cluster around the kitchen island. Pastor David and his wife Ellen are near the back door holding paper plates. Kara moves through the room, managing 3 children under 8 while trying to look calm. She's not. This is the first party she's ever organized alone. The napkins don't match the plates. The playlist is wrong. The timing is off. She catches herself thinking, Willa would have handled this, and the thought makes her jaw clench instead of her heart ache. Drew stands by the sliding glass door, watching the kids chase each other in the yard. He hasn't said much today. His parents keep looking at him with an expression he can't read. And Judith, my mother, stands in the center of the room like she's about to give the State of the Union. She's dressed up, hair done, lipstick. She's been waiting for this crowd. On the hallway table, between a bowl of keys and a framed family photo from 2011, sits a cardboard box. Return address. Portland, Oregon. Nobody's opened it yet. The cake is cut. Oliver smashes a handful of frosting into his mouth. Everyone laughs. And then my mother raises her glass of lemonade and taps it with a spoon. Before we go any further, she says, I want to say something. The room settles. Kara freezes by the kitchen counter. Drew looks at the floor. As some of you know, my older daughter Willa made a choice to leave this family without a word. She moved away, we still don't know exactly where, and she hasn't contacted any of us in almost 2 years. Mrs. Patterson sets her plate down. Linda Bellamy tilts her head slightly. Pastor David folds his hands. I raised that girl, Judith continues. I gave her everything a mother could give, a home, stability, love, and she repaid me by abandoning her mother, her sister, and these 3 beautiful children who adore her. She pauses. The room is silent. But we don't need her. We have each other, and that's what family means. Showing up, not running away. Scattered applause. Mrs. Patterson murmurs, That's terrible, Judith. One of Kara's friends puts a hand on Kara's arm. You're so strong, she whispers. Kara nods, eyes wet. She didn't even say goodbye to the kids. Lily asks about her every week. The performance lands, 15 people in a room, and my mother has successfully painted herself as the grieving matriarch and me as the ungrateful daughter. Not one person in that room has heard my side. Not one person has questioned why I left. Then Gerald Bellamy, Drew's father, 71 years old, retired electrician, the kind of man who speaks once and means it, points to the hallway table. Judith, somebody sent you a package. Return address says Portland, Oregon. Every head in the room turns. Judith walks to the hallway table. The room watches. She picks up the box with both hands. It's light. She turns it over. No name on the return, just a Portland address. It's from her, Kara says quietly. Judith carries it back to the dining table. She slides her thumbnail under the packing tape, pulls the flaps open. Inside, a folder, thick, neatly organized with 3 colored divider tabs. On top of everything, a single white sheet of paper. Judith picks it up and reads it aloud. Maybe out of instinct, maybe because she still has an audience and doesn't know what she's holding. I tried, 214 times. Here they are. She stares at the page, flips it over, blank on the back. She pulls out the first section of the folder and starts reading. Her face changes, not all at once. It's a slow drain, like watching color leave a room when the sun goes behind a cloud. She flips one page, then another, then another. Her hand begins to tremble. Mom, Kara says. What is it? Judith doesn't answer. Kara reaches over and pulls the folder toward her. She opens the second tab, her section. She reads the first page, her own name at the top, a screenshot of a text message she received 8 months ago. Hey, how are you? We haven't just talked in a while. Highlighted in pink. Notation in my handwriting. No reply. She turns the page. Another message, another highlight, another no reply. Page after page, 94 messages, her name on every one. The room is silent. Gerald Bellamy leans over and picks up the third tab, Drew's section. 33 messages, all seen, all ignored. He reads one, then looks at his son. Drew won't meet his eyes. Mrs. Patterson is the first to speak. She's known our family for 20 years. She brought a casserole when Dad died. She watched me mow Mom's lawn every Saturday for a decade. Judith, she says carefully, she texted you 87 times? My mother's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. 87 times and you didn't answer once? Judith's hand tightens on the edge of the table. Those texts don't mean anything. She always sends 87 messages, Mrs. Patterson repeats. She's not yelling. Her voice is flat and factual, which is worse. And you just told this room she left without a word. Linda Bellamy is reading Drew's section. She looks up at her son. Drew is staring at the carpet like it might swallow him. You saw these? Linda says. You read them and didn't respond? Linda, this is between, Kara starts. 33 messages, Linda says. My son read 33 messages from a person in this family and said nothing. That's between me and him. Pastor David whispers something to his wife Ellen. She nods. They stand up. We should go, he says gently. Thank you for the party. They leave their plates on the counter and walk out. One of Kara's friends picks up her purse, then another. The room is emptying, not in a rush, but in that slow, deliberate way people leave when they don't want to be part of what comes next. Kara's face is red. This is what she does, she says to the room. She manipulates. She planned this. But the room isn't listening anymore. The folder sits open on the table. Pages fanned out. Dates, highlights, notations, 214 messages, in my handwriting, with timestamps. There's no version of this story where I'm the villain. Not anymore. The guests are gone. Oliver is asleep on the couch with frosting still on his chin. Lily and Mason are in the backyard, oblivious. The adults remain: Judith, Kara, Drew, Gerald, and Linda Bellamy. Nobody sits down. The folder lies open in the center of the dining table like a wound. Judith speaks first. She points at Kara. You were her sister. You lived 10 minutes away. How did you not know? Kara's eyes go wide. Me? Are you serious right now? You're her mother. You lived 12 minutes from her apartment, and you didn't notice for 19 months? I have health issues, Kara. I can't be expected to. What health issues? Blood pressure? Willa managed your blood pressure. She picked up your prescriptions. She drove you to every appointment. The words hang in the air. Judith's mouth snaps shut. Kara has never spoken to her like this, not once in 29 years. Gerald turns to Drew. His voice is low and measured, the voice of a man who built things with his hands for 40 years and doesn't waste words. Son, you read those messages. Everyone in this room ignored her messages, Dad. I'm not talking about everyone. I'm talking about you. Drew has no answer. He stands by the sliding door with his arms crossed, shrinking. Linda shakes her head. I didn't raise you to be the kind of man who sees someone reaching out and looks the other way. And I didn't see you calling Willa either, Mom, Drew says quietly. The room splinters. Judith blames Kara. Kara blames Judith. Gerald blames Drew. Drew blames everyone. Linda turns on Gerald for being too hard on their son. The finger-pointing moves in circles. Nobody lands on the same target for more than 30 seconds. And the one thing nobody does? Nobody picks up the phone to call me. Portland, Saturday night. I'm on the couch with Naomi. We're watching a documentary about deep-sea creatures, something calm and blue and far away from Ohio. My phone buzzes on the coffee table. Ohio area code. Then again, then 3 times in a row. I glance at the screen. Mom, Kara, Mom, Kara, Mom. Naomi looks over. You okay? Yeah, it's just family. She nods. Doesn't push. That's the thing about Naomi. She trusts me to share when I'm ready. She doesn't pry. She doesn't demand. She just sits next to me and passes the popcorn. I put the phone face down. We watch a squid pulse through black water. Later, after Naomi leaves, I check. 2 new voicemails. Judith. Willa, how could you send that to my house in front of people? You humiliated me in my own home. Everyone saw it. Mrs. Patterson looked at me like I was, how could you do this? On Oliver's birthday? Still not, are you okay? Still not, I miss you. Just, how dare you? Kara. I can't believe you did this. Drew's parents are barely speaking to us now. His dad hasn't looked at him all night. Are you happy? Is this what you wanted? I set the phone down. I look at the ceiling. Am I happy? No, I'm not happy. That's not what this is. I'm not celebrating. I didn't send that folder to win a game. I sent it because I tried talking for 5 months and nobody listened. I sent it because my mother stood in a room full of people and called me ungrateful, and the only way to answer was to show them what I actually did. I tell Naomi the next morning over coffee. I sent them something, the truth basically. Mad at you or mad at each other? Both, but mostly each other. I learn what happens next through Maggie. She reads me the texts like a play-by-play announcer at a sporting event where everyone's losing. Kara creates a group text. Family only. Members: Judith, Kara, Drew. The thread goes like this. Kara. We need to figure out what to tell people. Judith. Tell them Willa is unwell. Kara. She's not unwell, Mom. She's angry. Judith. She has no right to be angry. I did everything for that girl. Drew. Actually, I think she does have the right. Kara. Whose side are you on? Drew. There are no sides, Kara. There are 214 messages. Kara. Oh, so now you're the moral authority. You didn't reply to a single one. Drew. I know, that's my point. Judith. Enough. I will handle this myself. I always do. Kara. You always do? Mom, Willa always did. That's literally the entire problem. The thread dies. Nobody resolves anything. Nobody proposes calling me. Nobody suggests therapy or a family meeting, or even a simple, what if we apologized? They argue about the optics. They argue about who looks worst. They argue about damage control. Not about me. About themselves. Then Drew does something off script. He gets my number from Maggie and sends a private text. Willa, I'm sorry. I should have responded to your messages. I don't have an excuse. I just want you to know I see it now. I read it sitting on my bed. The rain taps against the window. It's the first message from anyone in my family, in 19 months, that takes responsibility without blaming someone else. No, but your mother, or, but Kara said. Just, I'm sorry. I see it. I don't reply yet, but I don't delete it either. I let it sit. Some things need time before you know what to do with them. I want to pause here for a second. If you're watching this and you're the one in your family who plans every holiday, drives every appointment, remembers every birthday, and you're wondering if anyone would notice if you just stopped, I see you. This story isn't over yet. We haven't gotten to what happened when the rest of the town found out. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the ending. Now, back to Ohio. Word spreads the way it always does in a small community, not through announcements, but through casserole dishes and church parking lots and the soft voices of women who say, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but... Mrs. Patterson tells her sister, who attends the same women's Bible study as Ellen, the pastor's wife. Ellen tells the group, carefully, prayerfully, with just enough detail. By the following Sunday, every woman in Judith's church has heard some version of the story. And the version that sticks isn't, Willa abandoned her family. The version that sticks is, her daughter sent 200 texts and nobody answered. She moved across the country, and they didn't notice for a year and a half. That's the version that sticks because it's the version that's true. Judith feels it before anyone says it to her face. The way conversations stop when she enters a room. The way Mrs. Patterson waves from across the yard but doesn't walk over. The way the women's ministry coordinator calls to say they're reorganizing leadership this quarter, and Judith's role is on hold. Nobody confronts her. Nobody has to. The quiet is louder than any accusation. In desperation, Judith calls Maggie. Margaret, you have to help me. Talk to Willa. Tell her to call me. Maggie's voice is flat. I told you 10 years ago, Judith. You treat your children like they work for you. I said it then and you stopped speaking to me for 3 years. I'm not getting in the middle of something I already warned you about. But everyone is seeing what I've been seeing. That's not my problem to fix. Judith hangs up. For the first time in longer than she can remember, she sits alone in her house. No one is coming over. No one is calling. The phone is silent. Now she knows what that feels like. 3 weeks after the party, a Tuesday evening. My phone rings. Drew. I let it ring twice. Then I pick up. Neither of us speaks for 5 seconds. I can hear him breathing. I wait. He called me. He goes first. I'm not calling because Kara told me to, he says. She doesn't know I'm doing this. Okay. My dad showed me those messages at the party. I mean, I'd already seen your text to me, but reading them all together, all 200 of them in order, with the dates. He pauses. I couldn't sleep for 3 days. I don't fill the silence. I've learned that silence is the most honest space in a conversation. People say what they really mean when you stop talking first. You texted me about my project, Drew continues. You asked how Detroit went. You wished me happy Father's Day. And I just didn't reply. I saw them, Willa. I read every single one and I did nothing. I don't have an excuse for that. Thank you for saying that, Drew. The kids miss you. Lily drew you a picture last week. It's a house with purple flowers. My chest tightens. I miss them too. But I'm not coming back to fix things that aren't mine to fix. I know. A long pause. What do you need from us? I need you to stop treating me like I'm on staff. If we're going to have a relationship, it's because we choose it. Not because someone needs free childcare on a Saturday. That's fair. And I need you to pass that message along exactly as I said it. Not Kara's version. Mine. I will. Before he hangs up, Drew says one more thing. Kara and your mom aren't speaking to each other right now. That's between them, I say. I don't jump in to mediate. That job is over. A week after Drew's call, my phone rings again. Mom. I don't answer. But this time, the voicemail she leaves is different. Willa. Long pause. I can hear her breathing. I read through all of them last night. Every message. I sat at the kitchen table and went through every single page. Her voice is thinner than I've ever heard it. No sharpness, no accusation, just tired. I didn't realize there were so many. I mean, I knew you texted, but I thought it was just the usual, reminders, logistics. I didn't realize you were reaching out. Actually, reaching out. Another pause. I hear her swallow. There's one from April 14th of last year. You wrote, Mom, I made your pot roast recipe. Wish you were here to try it. And I saw it now, in the folder. I never answered that. You made my pot roast and you wanted to share that with me, and I never said a word. Silence. 10 seconds. 15. I think she's going to hang up. I'm not going to say I was wrong because I don't know how to say that. I never learned how to say that. But I saw it, Willa. I saw all of it, and I don't know what to do now. The voicemail ends. I sit in my living room and play it back. Twice, 3 times. I listen for the performance. The Judith I know, the one who turns every conversation into a monologue about her own suffering. But this time, I don't hear it. This time, she sounds like a 61-year-old woman sitting alone at a table with 200 pages of proof that her daughter loved her, and she didn't look up. I don't call back, not yet. But I open my journal and write, first message that sounds like a person instead of a warden. Kara calls on a Thursday. Drew gave her my number. I answer because I'm curious what version of herself she'll bring. I don't understand why you did this, she starts. Which part? All of it. Leaving, the package, humiliating Mom in front of everyone. I let a beat pass. Kara, I sent you 94 messages over 5 months. Do you want me to list some? I was busy. I have 3 kids. September 12th. I asked if you wanted to take the kids apple picking. October 3rd. I asked how Mason's ear infection was. November 20th. I asked if you needed help with Thanksgiving. Silence. December 24th. I sent you a photo of a gift I'd wrapped for Oliver. You opened the message. You didn't respond. January 15th. Stop. I get it. Do you? Because I'm not sure you do. I sent 94 messages. Not one of them asked you for anything. I wasn't requesting babysitting or rides or favors. I was just trying to talk to my sister. Her breathing changes. Faster now. She's not angry. She's cornered. I know you have 3 kids, I say. I know you're exhausted. I was there for 7 years, Kara. I picked up Lily on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I watched all 3 of them every Saturday. I planned every birthday. I held Oliver when he had colic so you could sleep. I know exactly how hard it is, because I was doing it with you. She's crying now. I can hear it. Not the dramatic kind. The quiet, involuntary kind. The kind that comes when you hear something you can't argue with. I love your kids, I say. But I am not your backup plan anymore. If you want a relationship with me, it starts with seeing me as a person, not a service. Kara says, Mom says this is all your fault. And you? What do you say? Long silence. She hangs up. That night, I sit at my kitchen table with a cup of tea and open my laptop. The rain is steady outside. The apartment is warm. I write an email. To Judith Myers, Cara Bellamy, Drew Bellamy. Subject, where I stand. I write it the same way I write a project brief at work. Clear, structured, no emotion bleeding through the margins. 5 points. No more, no less. 1. I am safe. I am well. I live in Portland, Oregon. 2. I left because no one in this family saw me as a person. I was a function, a babysitter, a driver, a planner, a mediator. When the function stopped, no one noticed the person was gone. That told me everything I needed to know. 3. I am open to rebuilding relationships, but not the old ones, not on the old terms. 4. My conditions are simple. No guilt tripping, no voicemails about what I owe, no using the children as leverage, no social media posts about me. If any of these are violated, I will extend no contact indefinitely. 5. I love you. That's why I tried 214 times before I left. But love without respect isn't love. It's a job. And I quit. I read it over once. I don't soften it. I don't add a, but I hope you understand. Or, I'm sorry if this hurts. I've spent 33 years cushioning every word to make other people comfortable. This email is for me. I hit send, close the laptop, put on my coat, and go for a walk in the rain. 2 hours later, Maggie tells me what happens. Judith reads the email, forwards it to Cara with one line. Who does she think she is? Cara reads it. For the first time in her life, she doesn't respond to Judith. She doesn't take Mom's side. She doesn't forward it. She just closes her phone and sits in the dark. My mother used to sit in the front pew at Grace Lutheran. She led the Thursday prayer group. She organized the annual potluck. She was Judith Myers, the woman whose faith held her family together after her husband passed. Now she sits in the back row. Not because anyone asked her to move, because she can feel the air change when she walks in. The women's ministry coordinator, Barbara, calls to say they're restructuring, and Judith's leadership role is under review. Barbara doesn't mention the package. She doesn't have to. The unspoken verdict hangs over every conversation like smoke. Mrs. Patterson, 20 years of friendship, countless cups of coffee across the backyard fence, now waves from a distance. Quick wave, no eye contact, no invitations to come over. The hardest part for Judith, though, isn't the church or the neighbors. It's the practical things. Without me, she has to drive herself to Dr. Pham's office for blood pressure monitoring. She has to remember which pharmacy has her prescription. She has to schedule her own appointments, keep her own calendar, cook her own meals. She calls Cara. Can you take me to the doctor Tuesday? Cara. I have 3 kids, Mom. I can't just drop everything. The sentence lands like a slap, because Cara has just said to her mother exactly what nobody ever said to me. I can't. I'm busy. Figure it out yourself. Judith calls Maggie one more time, late at night. Everyone's looking at me like I'm some kind of monster. Maggie pauses. Then, they're not looking at you like a monster, Judith. They're just looking at you for the first time. Judith hangs up. She sits in her living room. The TV isn't on. The house is quiet. Nobody is coming. Welcome to my world, Mom. The package doesn't just crack open my mother's world. It fractures Cara's too, in ways she didn't see coming. Drew starts saying things out loud, things he'd swallowed for years. One night after the kids are in bed, he sits at the kitchen counter and says, You used your sister, Cara. We both did. Don't lecture me. I'm not lecturing. I'm telling you that my dad hasn't called me in 2 weeks because of those messages. My own father looks at me like I'm a stranger. Cara's jaw tightens. So now it's my fault your dad's upset? It's our fault that Willa left. Both of ours. Cara walks out. She doesn't have a rebuttal. She has a reflex. Leave the room before the truth catches up. But the truth is already in the room. It's been in the room since the folder opened. At her mommy group the following week, one of the women, Jessica, the one who always brought the good wine, says casually over the snack table, Is it true your sister sent 200 texts and nobody answered? Cara freezes. It's complicated. 200 texts isn't complicated, Cara. That's someone begging to be seen. The room is quiet. Nobody argues. Cara excuses herself early. At home, she picks up the slack for the first time in 7 years. She makes school lunches. She drives to soccer practice. She manages the dentist appointments, the grocery runs, the bedtime meltdowns. All of it. Every day. Alone. And at 11 o'clock on a Wednesday night, kids asleep, house finally still, Kara sits on the kitchen floor with her phone. She scrolls back to a text I sent her last October. "Hey, just checking on you. You seemed tired last time I saw you." She stares at it for a long time. Her thumb hovers over the screen, and for the first time, she gets it. 1 month after Oliver's birthday party, here's where the family stands. Judith and Kara are not speaking. Judith insists Kara should have kept in touch with your sister. You're the younger one. It was your job to look up to her. Kara fires back that Judith is the parent, and the responsibility starts at the top. They go around and arrive nowhere. Drew and Gerald, silent. Gerald sees those 33 blue check marks every time he looks at his son. Drew sees a man who never called me either and has no right to the moral high ground. Neither of them will say it, so they say nothing at all. Kara and Drew, strained. Drew wants to formally apologize to me. Kara calls that a betrayal. "You're choosing her over your own wife." Drew says, "I'm choosing honesty." Kara says, "Same thing." They sleep in the same bed and speak in logistics only. Who's picking up Mason? Whether the electric bill got paid? What time is Oliver's checkup? The warmth is gone. The irony is heavy. My package didn't contain a single new piece of information. Every text in that folder had already been sent, already been received, already been ignored. I didn't create anything. I just printed what already existed and put it on a table where no one could look away. The family didn't break because of me. It broke because of what they did when they thought no one was watching. The package just turned the lights on. Maggie calls me on a Sunday. "They're all a mess," she says. "I know. How do you feel?" I think about it. I'm not happy. I'm not sad. I don't feel victorious or vindicated or righteous. I feel like someone who finally stopped carrying a piano up a hill by herself. That sounds about right? I open Google Calendar on a Sunday night in April. Portland rain taps against the glass. My tea is hot. The apartment smells like the eucalyptus candle Naomi gave me for my birthday. I scroll through the month. Green. Saturday hikes with Naomi. Purple. Pottery class. Wednesday nights. I'm getting better. My bowls don't collapse anymore. Orange. Monthly dinner with the friend group, this time at Marco's place. I'm bringing the garlic bread. Red. Blocked out evenings marked me, reading, cooking experiments, long baths. One entry just says, "Try making pasta from scratch." Every single color on this calendar belongs to me. My name, my choices, my life. At work, Helen calls me into her office on a Monday morning. "Sit down," she says. I sit. She slides a piece of paper across the desk. A promotion letter. Senior project manager, 12% raise. "You're the most reliable person on this team," she says. "I don't know where you learned it, but I'm glad you're here." I sign the letter. I don't tell her I learned it by managing a family who never noticed. Some skills are born in places you'd rather not revisit. That evening, I FaceTime Maggie. She's in her kitchen in Pennsylvania, wearing her reading glasses, drinking wine. "How's it feel out there?" she asks. "Like I finally have a life that belongs to me." She smiles. "Good. That's all I ever wanted for you." Before bed, I check my email. Drew has sent 3 messages over the past 2 weeks. Short, respectful, undemanding. A photo of Lily at a school play. A video of Oliver laughing on a swing. A note. "Mason lost his first tooth. Thought you'd want to know." No requests, no guilt, just sharing. I reply for the first time. "Thank you. They're getting so big." It's not a door flung open. It's a window cracked an inch. And that's enough for now. 6 months after the package. September. Portland. The rain is back. I don't mind. I've made peace with rain the way I've made peace with a lot of things. Here's where everyone stands. Judith. She started seeing a therapist. Not because she wanted to. Because Pastor David suggested it gently, and she respects him enough to listen. She sent me one email. Short. No guilt. No demands. "I'm working on myself. That's all I can say right now." I read it twice. I don't respond. I'm not ready, but I save it. Kara. We haven't spoken since the phone call where she hung up on me. But through Drew, I hear things. She hired a babysitter. Actually pays someone now to watch the kids twice a week. She drives herself to the grocery store. She manages her own calendar. Drew says it's the hardest thing Kara's ever done. I believe him. It's hard to learn at 29 what you should have been doing all along. Drew. He's become the quiet bridge. He sends me photos of the kids every week or two. No expectations. No, when are you coming home? Just moments. Lily's art project. Mason riding a bike. Oliver in a Halloween costume. Judith and Kara, talking again, but barely. They see each other at Oliver's preschool pickup sometimes. Short conversations. Stiff. The easy dynamic is gone. The one where Judith commanded and Kara obeyed, and I held everything in between. Without the middle piece, they don't know how to talk to each other. As for me, I'm not going back to Ohio. I don't have a plan to go back. But I haven't closed the door. I've just taken the key off the hook and put it in a drawer. If the right moment comes, I'll know. Some things heal, some things don't. I'm learning to be okay with both. A Thursday evening in October. I'm standing in my kitchen in Portland, and the apartment smells like home. Or what home should have smelled like. Pot roast, Mom's recipe. The one she got from her mother, handwritten on an index card with a coffee stain in the corner. I took a photo of that card years ago, kept it in my phone. Carrots, onion, thyme, a splash of red wine, low and slow for 4 hours. Naomi comes over for dinner. She walks in and stops in the doorway. Oh my God, that smells incredible. Where'd you learn this? My mom. I say it simply, no edge, no irony. She taught you well. She doesn't know I still make it. Naomi doesn't push. She opens the wine she brought and sets the table. 2 place settings, 2 glasses, 2 cloth napkins she found at a thrift store last month. We sit down. We eat. She says, "This is the best thing I've ever tasted." And she means it. After dinner, I wash the dishes. I stand at the sink, hands in warm water, and for a second I'm 14 again. Same posture, same motion. But everything else is different. The house is mine. The meal was my choice. And when I turn around, there's someone sitting at the table who says, "Thank you." 2 words I waited 17 years to hear. Later, in bed, I open my phone. I type a text to my mother. "I made your pot roast tonight. It turned out good." I stare at it. 10 seconds. 15. My thumb hovers over send. I press it. 3 minutes later, a reply. "I'm glad, sweetheart." 2 words. No guilt. No lecture. No, "When are you coming home?" Just warmth. Small, imperfect, uncertain warmth. Maybe that's where it starts. Maybe that's where it stays. Either way, I'm okay tonight. I didn't leave my family to punish them. I need you to know that. I left because I needed to find out if I existed outside of what I did for them. I needed to know, would anyone notice if I stopped showing up? Would anyone call? Would anyone check? The answer took 19 months. Not one phone call, not one birthday text, not one knock on the door 12 minutes away. That was my answer. And it hurt. I won't pretend it didn't. But it was clear. And I'd rather have a clear answer that hurts than a comfortable lie that keeps me trapped. The package wasn't revenge. I didn't write a single angry word. I didn't add commentary. I didn't say, "Look what you did to me." I just printed what I'd already said, 214 messages they'd already received, and sent it back. A mirror. That's all it was. And when they looked into it, they didn't see a villain. They saw themselves. If you're the person in your family who holds everything together, the one who plans the holidays, remembers the birthdays, drives the appointments, mediates the fights, picks up the phone every time it rings, I need you to hear this. Your value is not measured by how useful you are. You are not a function. You are not a service. You are a person. And if the people around you can't tell the difference, that's not your problem to solve. Set your boundaries. Even if they call you selfish. Especially if they call you selfish. Because the people who call you selfish for having needs are the ones who benefited most from you having none. I'm Willa Myers. I'm 33 years old. I live in Portland, Oregon. And for the first time in my life, if I disappeared, somebody would notice. That's my story. If it hit close to home, drop a comment. Tell me, are you the Willa in your family? Or did this story make you realize you might have a Willa you've been overlooking? Either way, I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, subscribe and check the description below for more stories like this one. And remember, your silence doesn't mean you're okay. Sometimes it just means nobody asked. Thank you for listening. Before we settle in, take a quiet look at the description. A small part of what you'll find there helps keep this channel quietly running, and it means more than you know.
If this story kept you watching until the end, then you already know what we do here on Calm Deep Stories. We tell stories of betrayal, inheritance battles, family jealousy, hidden document, shocking revenge, and the kind of karma that arrives quietly but hit hard. So before you go, make sure you subscribe to the Calm Deep Stories and turn on the bell icon because the next story may be even more shocking than this one.